Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We are at the world famous Monza track, this time the Ferrari 296, using the Ferrari Challenge fixed setup. Brake bias is shown on the dashboard. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and let's start this hot lap. Right, let's go. Smashing it down the main straight. Brake bias 46.8. We're looking for the 150 marker on the left-hand side. We're going to brake up to about 85%. Hold it. Start trailing off. Down to first gear. Little blip of gas. Tiny bit of brake and then back on the gas. Trying to watch that oversteer on the way out. Now hugging it round to the right-hand side. And what we're looking for is this bridge up ahead. So as we go through there, this time we brake to about 75, down to second gear, take the corner, little lift, take the corner again. Again, trying not to lose it on exit. We're looking for this orange flash on the right-hand side. Long trail off on the first Lesmo, back on the gas, exit nice and wide. We're looking for the 50-meter, very similar corner again, slightly harder on the brakes, but you can take slightly more curve on the inside. Now we're just flooring it down here. We're going to do fourth gear in Variante, so just before the 100-meter marker. Get back on the gas, try and hold it in through here. I did a tiny little lift. We're cutting those corners. Final corner coming up, Parabolica. We go through the 200, through the 100, just before the 50 we brake up to about 75%, long trail off, back on the gas in fourth gear, hug it round to the right hand side, cutting this final part of the corner. And open across the line in a 1:47.461. Right, let's do the breakdown lap. Right, let's smash through this. So the important thing is to get straight up to your maximum braking here for turn one and hold it there. So it's going to be the 150 just coming up on the left-hand side. So as we get there, we go straight up to 85%, there or thereabouts. Wipe all that speed off to see. I'm just holding it. Then as we get to the end of this sort of extra asphalt on the left-hand side, that's when we've already dropped it down to second and then first. Now we start trailing off all the way down to the first apex. Then we give it a quick blip on throttle here, straighten the wheel up, and then as soon as we've done that, tiny dab on the brakes just to get us around the second part, and now we start building back up on the throttle, getting up to 100% nice and early doors. This bit's self-explanatory. Hug it round to the right-hand side, up to fifth. Now, our next braking zone, we ignore the 200, and it's going to be just as we pass through this little signage hoarding up ahead of us here. So as we go through here, we brake this time, only up to about 75%. Again, wipe that speed off in the straight line. We drop it all the way down to third. We start our turn in. We drop it down to second, still trailing off. And again, once we get to the first apex here, that's when we're going to get on the gas. We go up to 100%, and then we're just doing a lift here through the second part, and we're cutting the corner on the inside. Wait until the car settles down on landing, and then we're back up to 100%. Straighten the wheel, nice wide exit. So for the first Lesmo, there's nothing on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side, we've got this orange flash, as you can see here on the Armco barrier. So just before we get to that, we're going to brake up to about 50%, about 45. I'm going to trail that off. In third gear, we're going to get back on the gas as we get to the apex here. We can't take a huge amount of curb here because there is an off track and it's also quite slippy. So we're just trying to wait, and then we're up to 100%. Exit nice and wide. We're going to keep our right-hand tire just on the edge of the track here. Second Lesmo, it's just before the 50, as you can see. And again, this time we're braking up to about 60%, so just that little bit higher. Trail it off down to the apex. This time we can take that inside curve a little bit more. So as we're at the apex, we're on about 70% gas, and then we open up the steering and we go back up to 100% nice. Wide exit again. Right, so it's just before the 100-meter here for Ascari. So just before we get there, we brake again up to about 75%, wide that speed off, trail it off down to the first apex. We're in 4th gear, and as we're at the apex, we're going to be up to about 50%, but immediately getting up to 100%. Now, ideally, I'd have kept my foot in here, but I did a tiny little lift, as you can see here. Lasted less than 1/10 of a second. And again, we can really cut these corners. Exit nice and wide. So for Parabolica, we've just gone through the 100, as you can see here, but just before the 50, that's when we get onto the brakes. So get about 75%. Trail that off down to the first apex here, and then we start building up. And as you can see, once we're down on the apex here, so about 1/3 of the way through Parabolica, that's when we're back up to 100%, or thereabouts. And then we hook it back over to the right-hand side, shorten the track, and that's us crossing the line in a 1:47.4. We have one final version coming up now with the driving line on without me speaking